I'm Alex Fraser. I'm the producing director here at Bucks County Playhouse. I'm so thrilled to have so many people show up for this. This is the first time I will be giving this tour, so forgive me. But when we heard about Winterfest and realized that we weren't part of it, I said, well, why don't we do a tour? And it turns out we could be the first on the program, and I love being the first on the program. And so I'm just so curious, how many people saw the piece in the Intelligencer yesterday? So because when I saw that, I was like, that's why you want to be first.
We were in the Courier Times.
Oh, good. Oh, excellent.
Internet.
Great. And the internet. That's great. That's great. Well, we're thrilled to have you. So here's the plan. I thought I would just talk for a minute here, then we're going to go outside because I want to talk a little bit about the early history of the site. Then we're going to go up the stairs in the back door of the theater, talk a little bit back there, then we'll come down, everyone will take a seat in the theater. I'm going to show this movie we made about the history, which is 25 minutes long, which I'm in love with, so I'm going to make everybody sit through the whole thing. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're doing now and the future, take everybody up on stage, and I've got the tech staff here who can answer any questions you might have about what's going up on stage, backstage. Then we'll go out to the cafe in the back, and hopefully we'll be done about 3:30. Is that good for everybody?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So this building, you know what, I think this is better just talking outside. So let's just turn right around and just go down the stairs and gather. So this was originally called Hope Mills. It was a flour mill, a grist mill. This dam right here was built when the original mill was built. There is no certain year when the mill was built, but it was bought in 1785 by Benjamin Perry. And Benjamin Perry was a wealthy Philadelphia businessman who moved to New Hope. He bought the mansion. You can't see it because it's just on the other side of the street from this. This was his barn, and the Perry mansion is still there. It's been beautifully restored, and it is the home of the New Hope Historical Society. So the Perry family moved up here. Originally, this was called Coryell's Ferry. And because Mr. Coryell operated a ferry that was right down here that went across to Lambertville. And New Hope was called Coryell's Ferry, Pennsylvania, and Lambertville was called Coryell's Ferry, New Jersey. And the Perry family came here. They bought this property in 1785, and 5 years later it burned to the ground. He rebuilt the structure, which is the auditorium section, which is here, not this front and not the fly loft, but that original building was the original mill building. It was rebuilt in 1790, and he renamed it the New Hope Mills. And so the town changed its name to New Hope, Pennsylvania, in tribute to the Perry's family contribution. And the Hope Mills ran consecutively as a flour mill until 1937. I want to just show you, as we walk up the stairs here, you will see, as we go up, and just hold that open. As we go up here, you'll see there's a huge pipe. There's a large pipe. It's called a race pipe. And water from the falls went through that pipe into the basement of the mill. The grindstone is still there today. There was no water wheel. It was this huge grindstone that was flat, and the water coming out drove it around to drive the mill to make the flour. So we're going to go in the back, take a look down. We're going to go back in here and up with some more stairs into the back of the house, and I'll meet you all there. Again, I'm Alex Fraser. I'm the producing director. I'm new. I've been here a year. It seems like yesterday. I can't believe it's been a year already. I'm a Broadway producer. I've been living in New York City for the past 30 years. I've worked on a lot of shows over the years, mostly Broadway shows, some tours, some London, some Australia. And I was always working in the office, kind of behind the scenes, making stuff happen. And this opportunity came up, and it was an extraordinary change for me. I sold my apartment. I'm now living here full time, and I've fallen completely in love with it. It is an extraordinary community. How many people are from within 10 miles of here? Almost everybody. And who's here for the very first time? And who has seen a show here before? And who was here when it was a dump? My great regret is that I never saw it before. People love to come up and tell me how horrible it was before. They say, you can't imagine how horrible it was. It smelled, there was mold, the seats had, gaffer's tape on them. It was unbelievably horrible, and I just so regret that I never saw that. This, Patty Chayefsky called the 10th man, and at the opening night, his mother. He said, so Mom, my play's a hit, I'm a Broadway producer. And she looked at him and said, you couldn't produce a movie? True story. So he produced a documentary at the Yiddish Theater called The Golden Age of 2nd Avenue, and dedicated to his mother. And when I made this movie, I thought of Arthur and thought, I made a movie, Arthur. It will be my only movie, I promise you. I'm fascinated by the history of this place. Who wouldn't be? The extraordinary people who walked on this stage over the years, and the writers. One of the amazing things that we found out in the museum show was that Thornton Wilder played the stage manager in our town here. It was the first time that he was ever in one of his plays. And he found it such a remarkable experience. He wrote a letter to Gertrude Stein, of all people, saying that he learned more about being a playwright in those 2 hours every night of performing his play, realizing how important the interaction between the actors are, and how the audience changes the play every single night. And he came back and did The Father in his play, The Skin of Our Teeth. And then Kaufman and Hart, who both lived right up the road, did a production of The Man Who Came to Dinner. They wrote this play, The Man Who Came to Dinner, and they based it on themselves and all their friends. And so they actually did a production here where they played the parts based on themselves, and they got all their friends to come and play the parts that were based on them. And Harpo Marx played banjo, which was his character didn't play. And there are funny stories about Harpo Marx running around town with a gallon of red paint, playing havoc as you can only imagine. And it made us think. One of the things I'll say is on our website, they actually did some documentary filming of the renovation. And it's extraordinary. They did a beautiful job of it. And I would encourage you, if you're interested, you can really see. I mean, they were filming as the renovation was going on. This was originally a hemp house, which means that all of these line sets you see were actual rope. And these go up and are connected to every, I don't know what they're called, so you have to help me with the names.
All of our line sets are distributed over here on stage left. These are weighted harbors. The way the system works is there's a rope line going up. It all distributes out to battens. That's these poles coming across. All of the terminology actually comes from sailing. All theater rigging is all old sailing terminology. So what happened was, sailors would come in from shore and needed jobs, and they knew how to make things move up and down on a boat for sails. So that's how all of this is created. So any item that's flown is equally weighted off stage with these bricks. And these are all heavy weighted bricks, and you balance everything out. So as it moves up and down, we don't have anything that can come crashing down on either side.
And before the renovation, as Alex was saying, this was referred to as a hemp house, which is the theater term. Means that we didn't have this sort of counterweight system. It was all sandbags. So all of these ropes, there would actually be a collection of 5 ropes that you would be running up and down in your hand, and you would have sandbags attached to do all the counterweighting systems. I can say I worked here back in the 90s when it was in not such a great condition as it is now. And so I experienced the sandbags and trying to get things in the air. Took a lot lot of muscle.
And we, you know, we're still in the process. We just put in those big things up there, a new HVAC, because the air conditioning wasn't, when there was a set here, it wasn't coming down on stage. And the forecast of maintenance behavior really had a hard time. So we put those tall stacks in there so that they push the air up, and the air can then come over the scenery and fall down on the stage so that they don't fry. Not row anymore, so this year we're putting one row back in and we're not going to put it out. I have some good battery cables down here, which is fun like this today. But it's more like if we have all the seats in there, we're going to do a little jigging around, take some out the last row, and move the light board around. That's the sound board back there now. So, you know, these down here are really fun. So, we're going to play around with it a little bit. Then when we start selling out, they all go back in. Well, let's go down and we'll just step out because I want you to see the view in the back after you. Just gorgeous view. And I'm going to again, by thanking you all so much for coming. This is our new Riverview Cafe, which is now covered for the winter. It's surprisingly warm.
Yes.
But the view, I think, of the Lambertville New Hope Bridge is just extraordinary. It is also 75 years old, so it is our sister, right? Wasn't it 75 years old? Yes. So we are open all the time, so we invite you all to come back, see a show, come have a drink, enjoy the view, and thank you so much.